Thanks everyone for being a part of tonight's bonus training. I'm just going to make sure I can see the chat for everyone here. And make sure we've got everyone on mute. Bear with me. Awesome. Well, look, again, thank you for being a part of tonight. I'm super excited. I hope you enjoyed the last week's content, the last 5 days, the Money Mindset Makeover. How was it for you? What stood out for you? What did you learn? I'd love to hear from you. Just comment in the comments about what stood out for you. What did you learn from last week? Whilst we wait a few moments for other people to join us. So what stood out for you based on what you went through? I hope that you've watched the replays. If you didn't get through it live, if you went through it live, even better. I want to commend you for having that commitment to improving your wealth and improving your abundance by sort of stepping up and carving out that time in your life. Kerry, loved the different accounts. I can tell you that was a massive transformation for us, just to really have a system, a simple system that we can follow, that we can look at based on percentages. It was massive. We've outgrown that, and as I spoke to a few people last week, eventually what will happen is when you apply that, it's a good stepping stone, but probably 3 to 5 years' time, you'll probably outgrow it, and there's another step after that, another version or another system that will just grow with your growth, that you cannot outgrow. It's scalable. But it's a good start. It's definitely an amazing start, in fact, and it gave us so much certainty around managing our finances. So, look, tonight, I know that the reason I came up with tonight's training was I had a lot of questions from people asking how do they keep the momentum going over the last 5-day challenge now that it's finished. And so I wanted to bring you tonight's bonus training to really help you keep moving, to take action in a really effective way. Bear with me here. Let me just get this happening. Participants. I'll just mute everyone. Go. Sorry, I was just muting other people. All right, so look, I guess to tell you a little bit of a story, for me, I was really skeptical about courses and, going to education and that sort of thing. And even like people charging money. I used to think that people like Tony Robbins, I used to see Tony Robbins as a teenager and as a young adult and think he was sort of similar to those evangelists that you see on TV. And, that sort of stereotype of, the snake oil salesman type of thing. And that was until I got into my early 30s, and at a moment where I was overwhelmed with debt, I was pissed off because I wasn't sure where I wanted to be, and I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I felt like I was kind of treading water, and I was really hungry for something else in my life. And so I stumbled across this course, and I made the first big investment in my personal growth, and I paid $15,000 to go to a 2-week live course. To do that, I went further into debt, knowing that something serious had to change in my life. And I can tell you in that moment, I was scared, I was uncertain, but I did it anyway. I kind of found this courage just in that moment. And it was to do that course that really helped me shift my old limiting beliefs, changed my perception of impossibility. And I was reprogrammed for possibility, reprogrammed for success, reprogrammed for peak performance and how to make smarter decisions. And that was really this catalyst to a massive transformation in my life and a big momentum in my life. And, imagine like if you went out and you bought a book that you really wanted to read, and then later that same day, someone gave you a book for free. Let me ask you, which book would you be more motivated to read? Would you be more motivated to read the book that you've bought or the book that you've been given for free? Now, I know what I'm like, and I look at my bookshelf now, and I have a few books that people have given me for free, and they've sat on my shelf. Because when I read books and I buy books, I'm doing so strategically. I'm doing because it's going to solve some sort of pain, or it's going to solve some sort of gap, or I'm motivated in some way. Someone gives me a book and says, I think this would be good for you. Well, unless I'm fully invested in that person, I don't tend to read it. It goes on my bookshelf, and I have full intention to get to it someday, but someday is not today. And I know for me, I fell in love with courses, not because they taught me great information and they gave me some great thoughts and new insights, but I loved it because of the roller coaster ride that I went on after I heavily invested myself financially, and then feeling the pressure to now extract everything that I could out of that course that I could get from it, and then having probably more importantly, putting that pressure on myself to take action, because that's how you get results. And I had to then be able to justify that initial financial investment. And so it really meant something to me. And I made sure that when I invested myself in these courses, that I had no other option but to make it work and to commit to it. And I wasn't going to dabble, I was going to fully commit. And so there's this one day, and it was a few years later, after going to some courses and just seeing the value of courses, I went to a 4-day course, and it was a money mindset course. And I paid $3,500 to be there. And then I can't remember what day it was, but there was a guest speaker that came up, and this guest speaker was a billionaire. And I'd never really been around billionaires. In fact, I don't think I'd ever met a billionaire at that point. And I was just curious about, how are they different and what do they do? Are they, do they have a third nipple, or, how are they different from us, or how are they different from me? And as this billionaire walked out, he introduced his 3-day program. Now, when he introduced his 3-day program, it was really starting to understand the power of proximity. And I understood that because I'd been around some successful people, and I was able to leverage off their success. I was able to leverage off their mindset. I was able to be influenced by being around them as much as possible. In a lot of cases, it was because I was going and doing their courses. So I was paying financially to be a part of that. And I understood the power of proximity, and I wanted to know more about this billionaire. And then as he's talking about this 3-day course, he mentions the price, and it was $19,000. And I remember in that moment, my reptilian brain, my scared self, that part of me that was a little bit uncertain, wanted to run and hide from that $19,000 price tag. But fortunately, there was my higher self, like my abundant self, my future self, knew that this was going to be the decision that really shaped my destiny. And what I know, and I want to tell you this, is that no one regrets making bold decisions for the right reasons. I haven't met anyone that's regretted making big, bold decisions when they're making it for the right reasons. And so I signed up to that, and I overextended myself. I went into debt for that. But tonight, what I want to do is share with you what I learned at that course, what I paid $19,000 to learn for a 3-day course. I would say it's probably one of the most expensive 3 days I've invested in. But would I do it again? Absolutely. Because it taught me so much, and I've got a return on that investment. So I'm going to do the best I can within the short time frame that we have together. I'm not going to go over time. I just really want to give you a whole heap of content tonight to help you facilitate the further momentum for yourself, to be able to lock in the changes that you really want to get, so that you can get the results you want to get as well. So the first thing I want to share with you is how to break through an abundant ceiling. Like, we all have this invisible ceiling. So we all have this limit on what we think we can generate and what we think we can handle. And so we need to decide on whether we're going to be a thermostat or whether we're going to be a thermometer. And if you think about a thermostat or a thermometer, well, a thermometer sort of sits on the wall and it tells you the temperature. It'll sit there and you look at it and, let's imagine you've got some advanced thermometer, like Google Home thermometer, and it tells you it's too hot. It says it's 32 degrees. It says it's 41 degrees. It's going to tell you it's too hot. It's going to tell you it's too cold. It's going to tell you it's 21 degrees, whatever it is. It's just going to tell you information. It's going to tell you stuff. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything else other than just tell you what the temperature is, what the environment is. It doesn't directly influence anything, and you could ignore the thermometer. You could close your eyes, and therefore it no longer exists, because it only exists when you open your eyes and you look at it. However, with a thermostat, though, a thermostat can be used to increase or decrease the temperature. And so it's used to take action that can then influence a situation to make it more desirable. And so the first decision that you need to make in your journey towards abundance is ask yourself, are you going to complain and not take action like a thermometer does, just sitting on the wall? Being aware of what the environment's like, but not taking action and just talking about it? Or are you going to be someone that influences the outcome and take action like a thermostat? And so let me know. Comment right now in the comments. Tell me, are you going to be a thermometer or a thermostat? What are you going to be? A thermometer or a thermostat? Just type it in the comments. Fantastic. Thermostat. Awesome. Thanks, Carissa. Kerry, hopefully a thermostat. That's interesting, Kerry. What I'd say to you is what needs to happen for you to have more confidence in being a thermostat? That'd be my question for you just to consider. Thermostat, Annie, awesome. Kylie, thermostat, great. And it is. It's that commitment. And just to cover on you, Kerry, not hopefully, because if you hope, there's almost like there's an element of doubt at the moment. What I want you to do is give yourself that gift of the power of myth. To say, you know what, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to put a line in the sand and I'm going to make it happen. Now, the next step, it's knowing that what needs to happen to create the difference to your mindset. It's knowing what you can do to really change the driver of your behavior. You need to know how to reprogram your mindset, because by knowing how to reprogram it is going to give you the ability to just do whatever you want to do. But in order to reprogram your mindset, you need to know how you've already been programmed, because you already have. You already have an operating system going on. And like a computer, in terms of a computer can pick up viruses, you've also picked up viruses over the years. I mean, if you've been surfing the net on a computer and there's a good chance you don't know what to look for, there's a good chance you probably have picked up some viruses. You probably picked up some damaging software over the year that's causing you pain. And it could be slowing down your system. It could be doing things that you don't want it to do. And it's the same thing with our mindset. We've picked up viruses. We've picked up malicious software. We've picked up malware. We've picked up software that other people have an intention to install within us, and we may be unaware of it. And just like a computer can pick up viruses from an internet, from a USB stick, from Bluetooth, well, your viruses or your malicious software has been installed via 3 ways as well. And it's important to know how those 3 ways happen. So you've been programmed already, whether you like that programming or not. And look, admittedly, some of your programming works for you. Some of it doesn't. It's understanding what's a virus and what's critical software. I mean, you don't want to delete critical software that's going to, just make your operating system, perform at a less than optimum level. You want to keep the good stuff, get rid of the bad stuff. And so you've already been programmed in 3 ways. One being that you've been told things and you've heard things. Someone's told you something. You've heard something from someone. It may not have been said directly to you. It could have been said something about someone else, but you could take that in. So you've heard things and you've been told things. Another way that you've been programmed is you've had models to follow, people to follow, and you've had models to rebel against. So I know that, my tendency as a teenager was to be a bit more rebellious. And so I would see people doing things, so I'd rebel against that. Now, it served me well to some extent, because it means I've gone against the herd, which has got me to where I am today. But I've also learned to turn that down as well and follow certain models. So it's knowing who to follow and who to rebel against. Unfortunately, though, many of us don't quite make those correct decisions. And look, I'm not perfect. I've made some pretty poor choices in my history around who to follow and who to rebel against. And it's about knowing that we do that. And that is a part of our programming. It's also knowing that you've had profound experiences that have shaped your perception. And so they're the 3 entry points to our programming. And any one of those 3s have contributed to your internal operating system or your mindset. And so the good news is that by the same way that damaging software is being installed is the same way that we can install better, higher functioning, user-friendly software. And so the next step is we need to look at how do we design new software? How do we design new programs that can then be installed? Well, the first step is awareness. That's key. Because if you don't know you've got a problem, you don't know to fix it. If your operating system is sluggish and you don't know that it should be faster, well, you have just normalized to that sluggish software. Many people have normalized to their current situation in life. They just think that's how life should be. They don't dare to desire anything bigger or better than that. They often, and I know what this is like, I used to eat a lot of food that was unhealthy. And I used to think that my energy level at what I now know is probably a 7 out of 10 was a 10 out of 10 back then. And I now know differently because I have a contrast. But back then, I wasn't aware that my energy levels could go above 7 out of 10, because back then the old me thought my 7 out of 10 was actually a 10 out of 10. So it's having that awareness. That's the first step. We need to be aware of catching ourselves out. It's like, what are we doing? What programs do we have in place that are actually malicious and not friendly? I mean, that's how often a lot of viruses happen, is you'll download a software onto your computer that you think is friendly. You think it's doing you some service. You'll download something thinking, oh, this is a nice little app, unaware that it actually is malicious and it's doing some damage behind the scenes. So it's having that awareness. We need to be able to identify what we want to change. The second step is you want to understand what your desired outcome is, and then how do you know once it's achieved? So once you're aware that you have a virus, once you're aware you have some malicious programming, we now need to go, okay, what's my goal? All right, I want to get rid of it. Well, how do I know once it's been removed? And so we need to have some sort of measurement for success. We need to know what our endpoint is. Otherwise, we're probably going to be off course. The third part is we then want to be able to dissociate and use the power of possibility and myth. And what I mean by that is you need to be able to take yourself to a place, or have someone else take you to a place where you can let go of your subjective opinions and perceptions, to be able to let go of all the attachments that you have, and to be able to see the situation through a set of fresh eyes. And it's what we call dissociated. You need to be dissociated from your emotional state, because often when we're in an emotional state, you are looking at the world, you're looking at the situation through this tinted window based on all the stories that you tell yourself, all the things that you're carrying from the past. We want to go, you know what? Imagine if we could let go of everything that's happened in the past and see this from a third person's perspective, or see this like we're a fly on the wall. And then once we dissociate from that emotional tinted window, you're now able to gain a new and fresh perspective. And so we need to be able to do that. It's the power of possibility. It's going, even though it's been impossible for me to do this in the past, I need to invoke that power of possibility, that power of myth, and go, okay, imagine I could do this today. How would I do it? Imagine, it was possible. Then how would I do it? And that power of possibility is going to get you to move into a dissociated state. I'm now dissociated from my past, negative emotions, the things that are holding me back. I'm dissociated from my problems. And this is all super important to create that abundance, because we all carry baggage with us. We all carry those old programmings, and we need to shift those programmings. Your wealth is not created by your income. It's not. It's created by your mindset, because you could have a huge amount of income, but if you're spending exactly the same amount as what you're earning, you're not getting any wealthier. If you're earning a good income, but you're spending more than what you're earning, well, you're not earning wealth. You're not creating wealth. You're creating debt. And so it's not about income. It starts with mindset. So that's the third way to start to reprogram. The fourth way is you need to discover some new resources. You need to look at this from this new, unbiased, objective perspective. And from that position, you start to find some new resources. You need to find some new options. You need to find some new opportunities that it's going to help you become more resourceful. And that's the key to it, is you want to become more resourceful, because it's your resourcefulness that's going to help you solve some of your problems. Once you've found some new resources, once you've looked at it from a different perspective, once you've made a new learning, once you've got some other idea or perception, the fifth step is you need to make a decision on it. You need to start to make a committed decision that you are going to carry those new resources and you're going to create a new meaning from that. You need to create a new meaning. That now means I can do this better. Now, that now means I'm going to be more committed. That now means that I'm going to get my results, and I truly believe in it. You need to create new meanings from it, and they need to be meanings that you are more in control of, knowing that we can always choose any meaning that we want. We can always choose, but I'm not sure. Or that means I might do it better. These are all words that disempower us. We have a tendency not to give ourselves the gift of that power of myth, that power of possibility. And we say things, well, I hope I'll do it. Or, I might do it. Or, fingers crossed. But there's still that element of doubt. And the only thing that keeps hanging on to that doubt is that person's attachment to that doubt. It's why don't they just give themselves the gift of 100% commitment, 100% belief, 100% confidence? Because it really is just an emotional state that we can choose to have. And it comes down to the meaning that you give to things. And so we need to take control, take responsibility for the decisions that we make and be committed to those decisions and protect them. Once we've made those decisions, protect those decisions, because it's in those decisions that your destiny is going to be decided on. Because once you've made a decision, well, then the sixth step is you need to take action and implement it. And so results only come from action. And so you need to take immediate, bold action as quickly as possible to really start to lock in those changes and create the long-term results, because that's really how results are created. So this is the exact method, by the way, that I use with my clients at our live events to help people overcome things like depression, anxiety, trauma, fear, phobias, long-term pain, lack of self-worth, procrastination, you name it. And so not only is this good for those sorts of challenges that people face, but this is like the first time that I've really focused directing this power, this approach, this level of powerful transformation into your money mindset. And so you need to ask yourself, are you the type of person that says you're committed, that says you're serious about changing your life, but then doesn't take action? Or are you going to be the type of person that's committed, is serious about taking action, is serious about getting results, and you do whatever it takes to take action consistently? Because we can be one of those two people. But here's what I know. This is what I'm offering for the right people. An opportunity to work closely with me over the next 12 weeks, being part of my inner circle to get your abundance mindset and wealth on track. And it's what I've called the Abundance Accelerator Program. So this is what I know for me. I have got the best results in my life from being around people that can guide me on how to do this. By holding my hand, I understand the power of modeling people. I understand the power of having a coach. I understand the power of having a mentor. And I still do that to this day. I'm always leveling up. You need to do this program. Like, this is just the start. We need to do this program together over the next 3 months, and you are going to get amazing results from it, because never before have I put all this content together and focused this power into money mindset in this way. And what I can tell you is there have been times in the past where you've wished this could be easier. You've sort of laid in bed and you've asked the universe to make life better for you, or there's got to be a better way. And look, the universe has listened, and this is your opportunity now. So imagine your life 3 years from now, and you look back at this moment as the moment that you took massive action and you propelled your wealth and abundance forward, because I can tell you this, I'm committed to getting you there. I'm ready to fight for you, and I'm ready to fight for helping you to transform your mindset into one that creates abundance and wealth that you deserve. But you need to be willing to fight for you, because I can't drag you there. And if I could, I'm not going to, because I don't work with everyone. I respect what I do and what I know. And I really want to work with the right people. I want to work with the people that I know are going to get results. I want to work with people that are serious about this. And I need to make sure that you're the right fit for this as well. So if you're interested, this is by application only. So here's how you apply. You get on Facebook and you send me a private Facebook message. And you send me a private Facebook message, and then what we'll do is we'll arrange a time for a 15-minute interview where we'll talk about whether you're a good fit for this, and we'll sort of plan some things out. Now, this is going to happen over the next 24 hours because I've got limited spaces left. We had people last week sign up to the program, and this program starts soon. It starts on the 1st of February. So it's probably less than a week away. Was it the 24th today? So right now you have a few choices to make. You can choose to stay the same with your current mindset, or you can choose to give yourself the gift of creating more abundance and wealth and changing the direction of your life significantly. If you want to do this, send me a Facebook message right now. Just go ahead and send me a Facebook message right now, because for the first 3 people that send me a Facebook message, I will give you something I've never before shared with anyone else. I can tell you every single book that I read, I mind map it out. I take lists of the actions that I'm going to take to implement that. I will share with you my never before shared financial literacy book summary collection. For the first 3 people that send me a message. So this is your time to decide. Jump on Facebook right now, send me a message and book in a time for us to have an interview. You know, I really want to share with you that what I learned from that course and that I paid this billionaire $19,000 was really how my mind worked, what the levers were, what the switches were, really how to see the matrix of life, the matrix of abundance, the matrix of wealth. Everything else is the things that you do, the strategy, whether it be Bitcoin, whether it be property, whether it be investments, whether it be foreign exchange, whether it be shares, whether it be whatever it might be, whether it be your own business, whether it be working in a career, a job. That's all the stuff. That's nowhere near as important as what's going on up here between your 2 ears. That's where it starts. And so I would love to have a conversation with you if you think this is a good fit for you, if you're serious about it. I hope you've enjoyed the money mindset from last week. I hope you enjoyed tonight as well. Hope you've taken notes. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight. I look forward to reaching out to you in future. I'll keep sharing in this group, so please be a part of this group. I'll continue to, update some content. I'm always coming up with ideas, and Jess is always telling me, you got to stop having all these ideas. I'm just passionate about giving back. I'm passionate about passing the torch down the line and giving you opportunities to, step up and improve your life and improve the lives of other people around you that are also, within your influence. So again, thank you so much for your time and energy tonight. Have an amazing, Thursday night. Or if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. If you have any questions, reach out to me and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.